The pit lane will be open shortly, which means it's nearly time for qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza.
We don't think you'll have any trouble getting into the next session, so don't push too hard.
Hello guys, and welcome to Monza, Italy. What we are going to be doing here today is, as Sebastian Vettel finished second there in this weekend's Italian Grand Prix there, we are going to be trying to replicate that performance there and see if we can't knock off the two Mercs there from the top of the podium. And what we're going to be doing here today is we're going to be taking the seat with Sebastian Vettel here, qualifying all finished, and we are starting third on the grid here behind Nico Rosberg, and I believe it is Valtteri Bottas who is in second position. And just get the tire strategy and the pit strategy under wraps here. I think I have to apologize for this section of the video here. I'm not really sure why, but this entire start of the race and the first lap seem to be audioless, and this is a bug that sometimes happens with the Loilo recorder that I'm using to record my game footage, and I'm not really sure why that happens, but it does, and it's quite annoying. Anyway, getting out of the gate here, a slow start pretty much per usual there. We lose all kinds of positions there. Maldonado manages to pass us. I believe Hülkenberg is the car right in front of us there. Just cutting the corner a little bit there, running out of space there. Maldonado seemingly gets out of the corner faster than us, so we are still in P5. We have Massa directly behind us. It appears that Hamilton is directly behind Massa, being chased by our teammate Kimi Räikkönen there. And heading into the chicane here, just going down the inside of Hülkenberg there. We managed to move up into P3 here, so we managed to pass Maldonado on the straight there. So back into P3 here, coming through Lesmo, just cutting the corner, almost running wide there as we come through turn 7 and right out on the second DRS straight here, heading into the Ascari chicane. We have Hülkenberg directly behind us, but it doesn't appear as though he's making up any ground on us there, so doesn't look like the Mercedes engine of the Force India there is able to catch up to us at this point. We're running an absolute no-wing setup here, so to take advantage of the high-speed sections of this particular track. And on a bit of a side note, I think I should apologize here. I am recovering from a very, very nasty flu, to say the least, so obviously if my voice is a little bit shot, that's the reason why, so bear with me here, guys. Anyway, lap 1 status here after a bit of a rocky start. We remain in P3, a couple of seconds off Bottas and Rosberg, who is currently leading the race. Jumping ahead to lap 3 here, we are being chased down by Lewis Hamilton there. Hülkenberg is out of the picture right now. He's going to have a look down the outside of us there, but we managed to maintain our line as he commits to the outside, though. Massa takes full advantage of that, slips down the inside as we run a little wide here into the Parabolica as we spend a little bit too much time looking in the mirrors there. We have Massa directly behind us, and DRS is going to be available for this particular lap here, so I don't think there's going to be much we can do about this. He's going to have a look down the inside here, heading into the Rettifilio chicane there, and braking as late as we possibly can. A little bit of contact on turn-in there, and thankfully we didn't get a penalty there, as maybe we should have had one. A little bit of reckless driving on our part. Skipping ahead to lap 5 here, Lewis Hamilton is now overtaken Felipe Massa for 4th and is starting to put us under a lot of pressure here again on the DRS straight here, heading into Rettifilio and braking as late as we possibly can. One more time, running a little wide, a little deep into the chicane there, but we managed to make the move stick. No contact this time. Absolutely clean move there, and Hamilton is going to have to go back to the drawing board. I have to say that my initial strategy for this race here was to take a little bit better care of the tires than we've been able to so far here, but once we get racing, we seem to forget about that, being put under pressure from all kinds of drivers here. Massa first, now it's Hamilton, and right up until this point, we really haven't been able to get ourselves a breather where we can take care of the tires properly. Skipping right ahead to lap 8 here, kind of the same situation that we saw on the last lap there. Again, Lewis Hamilton with DRS and the powerful Mercedes engine moving down the inside here. Haven't learned his lesson. A little bit later on the brakes this time, a little less caution heading into the turn. He makes the move stick as we are down into P4. Hamilton is in P3, and this is going to be all about hanging on with Hamilton at this point here, because I believe if we can remain within DRS range here as we come out on the second DRS straight here, we might have a shot at regaining the position here as we head into the Ascari chicane. And if not on the second DRS straight, then back on the main straight there, we should have the pace to be able to compete with them as long as we remain in the slipstream and within DRS range.
Brakes are too cold. We need to get some heat into them. Brake hard going into the next couple of corners.
Heading into Ascari here, we are in no position to mount an attack here, but it's going to be all about just staying right on his rear wing, taking advantage of the slipstream there. Do not want to get left behind here, and getting a good exit from the Parabolica there. Hopefully we're going to be in a position as we come out on the main straight there where we can mount an attack there, but running a little wide here into the turn, that's not going to help our efforts one bit. Coming out on the main straight here, hopefully DRS is going to help us catch up to Hamilton here. We're in a slipstream. We are catching up to him. There goes the DRS, opening the rear wing, going down the inside there, making the move stick, heading into Rittifilio. And we are back into P3 here, returning the favor on Lewis Hamilton. Identical move as he pulled on us on the last lap.
We don't want to get a penalty.
Jumping right ahead to lap 12 here, moving up into P4 currently is our teammate Kimi Räikkönen, and he is coming up hot and heavy at this point here, probably burning a whole lot of fuel in the process, having passed Lewis Hamilton, and is starting to put us under pressure.
Okay, the pit window has opened.
Jumping ahead to lap 16 here on the main straight, Kimi Räikkönen's going to have a look down the inside here, heading into Rittifilio. DRS open and everything, but makes the same mistake as Felipe Massa did and as Lewis Hamilton did on the first attempt, braking just a fraction of a second too soon there. We make the move stick, having a lot of practice with it so far, and remain in P3 here as we are going to be heading into the pits at the end of this lap. Coming through the chicane here, if you have a look in the mirrors there, look at Kimi Räikkönen. All of a sudden, he just seems to lose power or something like that, but he is dropping back quite dramatically here as we head through the Lesmo section. And as a matter of fact, he's losing a couple seconds on this section alone here, so he definitely must have a problem here. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not he's going to head into the pit. And if he is, he's going to be held up by us, as we are slated to come in for a set of options here on this particular lap. As you can see, lap 17 coming into the pits, making the switch for another set of option tires here. This is going to be our first stop of the race. And yeah, like I was talking about, Räikkönen coming in right behind us there.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit.
So rejoining the track here, currently in P6, Roman Grosjean in P5. I would expect him to come in and make his first pit stop here within the next couple of laps here. Just locking the tires there as we want to keep Maldonado right behind us, heading into the Rittifilio there and managing to do so. Do not want to get tangled up with Crasher Maldonado. Skipping to lap 18 here, cars in the pits as we are making up positions here right back into P3, which is where we initially ended up being before our first pit stop there. So the status quo remains as we are trying to chase down Valtteri Bottas, who is currently about 8 or 9 seconds up the road, I believe.
Fitted the option tire. They fitted the option tires.
Skipping ahead to lap 20 here, still trying to chase down Valtteri Bottas as we come through Della Rocha here. Look at the left-hand side of the track there. Rosberg seems to park the car here heading into Lesmo, and I'm not really sure whether or not he's had a problem or whether or not he's spun, but it appears that he is out of the race at this point here. And just looking at the replay here, doesn't really tell us much there other than the fact that Rosberg just seems to pull over and just seems to be unable to get the car going again for whatever reason. And there was Bottas currently in P1. I would expect us to come by any second now. There we are, cutting the corner. And there we have Massa, and I believe it was Hamilton putting him under pressure. Jumping right ahead to lap 22 here, Massa and Hamilton still tangling behind us there as we run a little wide here heading into Parabolica. Getting a bad exit here, but it's not going to hurt us much, thankfully. Could have gotten a lot worse than that. But as you can see there, if you look at the positions there, we have Hamilton and Massa pretty much exchanging positions left and right here. I believe they have overtaken each other like 2 or 3 times on this particular lap. And again, Massa into P3 at this point. Coming out of the chicane there, Massa is going to be returning the favor on Hamilton, remaining in P3 as those guys are really duking it out right now. Skipping ahead to lap 24 here, coming up on a back marker. It appears to be Merhi, one of the Marussia Mana cars there, and those guys are really dangerous. They're ending up cutting the corner in all sorts of nasty ways there, not to get tangled up with Merhi there. But look in the mirrors, current P3, Lewis Hamilton apparently ends up tangling with Merhi, trying to pass him there. Massa moves back into P3. I'm not sure what happened to Hamilton, but let's have a look at the replay here as we come out on the straight. Merhi pulling out of the way for us there and maintaining his line. Hamilton sort of commits to the outside, then thinks the better of it and tries for the switch over, ends up hitting the back of Merhi's car, damaging his front wing, and he's probably going to go into the pits here for a new front wing there. Massa ends up passing Hamilton, obviously. I'm not really sure whether you can actually fault Merhi for that. He was kind of sticking to his line there. There was loads of space on the inside. Just another case of overly aggressive AI there, I think. Anyway, jumping right ahead to lap 32 here, we are still trying to chase down Valtteri Bottas. He's about 6.5 seconds up the road from us right now, and he is proven very difficult to catch, I have to say. Good news is we're pulling out a gap on his teammate Felipe Massa, who is currently in 3rd. And jumping right ahead to lap 34 here, coming in for our second and hopefully last pit stop here, last scheduled pit stop anyway, making the switch for the prime tire that we are going to be finishing the race on here, and we have some spare fuel left in the tank here, so we're going to be dialing up the engine here for a couple of laps, see if we can't put in one last ditch effort here to catch Bottas outright, because I believe if we can get within 1 second of him, their DRS range, we should be able to pass him. Skipping ahead to lap 38 here, does appear that we are currently catching up to Valtteri Bottas. He's only about 4 seconds up the road here though. Locking the tires, heading into the Rettifilio, getting a very bad exit to say the least. Not going to help our efforts in catching him. And as you can see there, Lewis Hamilton, quite surprisingly, is back into P3 at this point here, but I would have to think that he has at least one more pit stop to make before the race is over. Jumping right ahead to lap 45 here, Felipe Massa now back into P3. It appears that Hamilton indeed has made his final pit stop there, and we are still maintaining that 5.5, 6 second gap up to Valtteri Bottas, unable to close the last couple of seconds there. And I don't think that we can do anything other than just try and remain calm here for the remaining 8 laps of the race here and see if we can't put in some fast times there without pushing too hard, because if we start pushing, we're just going to be making mistakes, and that is not going to help our efforts here if we want to win here today. Skipping right ahead, final lap of the race here. Unfortunately, we are not going to be taking the win here today unless Valtteri Bottas crashes a car or has a mechanical issue here on the last lap. Our tires have gone off the cliff apparently, and we are losing quite a bit of time here to Valtteri at this point. So I guess we're just going to have to be content with what we're getting here. We're going to be finishing second here in the Italian Grand Prix, pretty much replicating the effort of Sebastian Vettel there on Sunday. Only difference is that we have a different winner in this race. Valtteri Bottas has taken the win here. We are taking Vettel into P2, and I believe Lewis Hamilton, quite impressively, is going to be finishing third here today. So there you have it, guys. Just to round off this Monza experience, this 100% race. Had a lot of fun here today. I absolutely enjoy driving Monza. Always did. I probably always will. And just looking at the standings there, no surprise there whatsoever, except the fact that Nico Rosberg ended up crashing out or had a mechanical issue there. And Kimi Räikkönen ending up 3 laps down with 3 pit stops there. So I'm not really sure what happened to him, but apparently his engine had some sort of issue. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more F1 2015 action in the future, and I'll be back soon enough. Bye-bye.